All right, all right, all right. Week 12 is here, and we have a lot to fear because, woo, it is crazy, crazy, crazy out here. Everyone's trying to dodge some bullets. We have COVID positive test results coming left and right. We have players going on IR. We have players that are hurt, and we're here to break it all down, get you ready for the week, get your lineup set, and get you good to go. I got Hammer on board. Hammer's starting a wonderful new project that I want to shout him out on. Hammer's House coming soon, where he's going to be giving his own takes, including a lot of Raider stuff. You could also catch him on Spotlight Sports doing live action commentary. But Hammer, this week as we break it down, give me some of these inactives actors. I know that you were looking at it and talking about this earlier. There's a lot going on this week, and there's a lot of players that are going to be out. So let's break it down for the guys.
So we're gonna go down the list through by team. I'm not gonna do it by matchup. But we're gonna start with the Cardinals. As of right now, Larry Fitzgerald is out due to illness today. He was placed on COVID IR, I believe it was earlier this week. Todd Gurley and Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons are going to be out in their matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders, which for fantasy owners, I wouldn't be too sold on starting Matt Ryan today, especially with Julio Jones on the sideline. Hayden Hurst is questionable with an ankle injury. We got John Brown of the Buffalo Bills, who is
one thing on that for the Falcons. I also know that Todd Gurley's out this week because he had the hamstring injuries.
He's got a knee right now. That's what they have it down as is his knee.
So I know he's definitely out. So just two players that I'm watching there: Russell Gage and Hill. Both starting both in leagues that I have to. Those are just two guys to sub in. Just off the top of my head.
Buffalo, John Brown is out, not on IR. Impact right now is Gabriel Davis. He suddenly becomes fantasy relevant. Christian McCaffrey is out with a shoulder injury. Mike Davis continues his streak of starts. Instead, Giovanni Bernard concussion. He's still questionable.
Samaje Perine, that's a guy, if he's out, that you might want to be able to add and get decent value for. I don't know how much he's added, but that's someone to look out for.
Yep, definitely. Thomas is questionable. Mike Thomas of the Bengals. I'm sorry. Yeah. Mike Thomas of the Bengals. He's hamstring. He's doubtful right now. But since we're talking about a Mike Thomas, Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints, buyer beware today with what the situation with the Broncos are with their lack of quarterback. Expect to pick up Kamara if you can today, especially for daily fantasy, because you're going to expect Taysom Hill or Kamara just carrying the load. They're going to run the hell out of the ball. You're probably going to see 45 plus carries against the quarterback list Broncos team today. They are going to be using a kid from the practice squad, so beware of that one today.
Yeah, they're going to be using just one second to touch on it. Kendall Hinton is going to be the guy that's going to be starting at quarterback more than likely for the Broncos. With that said, in Yahoo, he has wide receiver eligibility. I have to double check what he has on FanDuel, but this is the kind of guy where even though he's kind of a super risky play, if you're looking at wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 options on your team, Hinton is someone that I'd pick up and think about starting this week because, again, he's going to be like how Taysom Hill was last week. He's a quarterback that's going to be playing wide receiver. It's just something to keep an eye on.
Phillip Rivers of the Colts. He is questionable with a toe injury. I'm assuming turf toe. He's still expected to play, but Jacoby Brissett is at ready at any time today. Jonathan Taylor, he's out. Illness. I'm assuming COVID IR again.
Yeah, he's on COVID. Another guy to look out for there is Hines. I know he's starting to get picked up a lot of places. FanDuel, I'm loving him, but he's a guy that's really up there this week.
Between Hines and Jordan Wilkins, definitely consider the two of them today. Gardner Minshew, thumb, he's questionable. Mike Glennon gets the call over Jake Luton. Chris Conley, he's out with a hip injury. DJ Chark, he's out with a with a rib injury. Kalen Ballage, ankle, he's questionable. The impact for that game is Austin Eckler has been activated from IR. It's unclear as whether he's going to start or not.
He's going to start. He's going to start. He's someone that I'm firing up in leagues. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't start him. The only guys behind him are Deontay Poe, because Kalen Ballage is out. He was the guy that was running second string. So again, that's someone that if you have Eckler, fire him up. There's going to be no one better to start this week.
For the Dolphins, Tua time. Not really. He's out. He's doubtful with thumb injury at all costs. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to start. And I'm telling you, fantasy owners this morning, you're going to want to consider Devontae Parker with his connection with Fitzpatrick. He may go off against that terrible, terrible, god-awful Jets defense. Yeah. Salvin Ahmad.
That to me is also a trap game, man, because that Jets defense is so bad. And I don't even know what's going. Do we have an update on what's going on at the running back position for them? Because I know
Jets.
No, for the Dolphins, because there's room. Ahmed is out this week. Breida was in the backup, and they were talking about possibly activating Myles Gaskins from the IR to start. So that's something that I'm really watching pretty heavy, because they might not have a run game over there in Miami.
So Gaskins still could be activated from the IR. Breida might end up the number one back anyways.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Jakeem Grant, another receiver from Miami. He's questionable with a hamstring injury. It's looking to be a game time decision, though, for Miami, so just stay tuned to that. Mm-hmm. Irv Smith Jr., tight end of the Minnesota Vikings. He's doubtful with a groin injury. Kyle Rudolph becomes a potential tight end one, with Smith unable to steal targets. Adam Thielen, illness. He's doubtful. A false positive has his status in doubt for today, as he might not be cleared in time to play. Moving on to the Patriots, Rex Burkhead. Like, this dude is glass. He's always out. One reason or another, this dude's out. He's out with a knee injury today. James White should see a big upstick in usage today. N'Keal Harry, wide receiver, shoulder questionable. Jacoby Myers is likely to remain as only a secondary target behind Harry this week. Next up, you got tight end Ryan Izzo. He's questionable with the hamstring injury. Nick Folk back. He's questionable as well. Move on to Tennessee, and Humphreys is out with a concussion. They're going to attempt to fill in the best way they can, so just be on alert for that one. And that's primarily the offense. Defensively, Arizona's
we don't really got to cover.
We don't really even care about the defense that much. No disrespect.
Big shout out to my boy Dave. He's been asking us questions all week on Facebook. Definitely love helping you guys out. If any of you other guys have questions, we want to make sure that we get you guys right and get you winning leagues, because that's what this is about. We're not doing this for anything but helping the community. And he comes with us with the question. He says his first question is actually about defenses. We shut it off. It's Cleveland's defense versus Seattle's defense, and I just have to take a look at the matchups. I'm not sure who's playing who. Seattle is facing Philly. There's a rumor now that Philly might be starting Jalen Hurts as their quarterback this week, which really makes it an interesting situation for their pass catchers and how they're going to play that out. I think that's a sticky situation with Philly. So Seattle's defense definitely is someone that I'm looking at. Also, Seattle's schedule going forward is really good. So if it's kind of a toss-up matchup and you need a defense, keeping Seattle on your team for the next couple of weeks definitely plays out pretty good. And then the Cleveland Browns, I'm not sure who the Cleveland Browns are playing. Just give me 1 second.
Cleveland Browns are playing the Jaguars. No brainer. Go with Cleveland's defense.
Yeah, I would go with Cleveland's defense if you need it for the week. But if you're looking for an overall long period of time, like the next couple of weeks, you need a defense, Seattle's a good one to hold up, because I know they're going to face the Jets soon. They have a couple of really good matchups. They have Washington. They're one of the best fantasy defenses going into the playoffs. I definitely have them on my team, and I'm stacking them for later. All right, and then you have Parker on the bench in my only spot. I can put him in place of Miles Sanders, Carson, or Eckler. I wouldn't do that. Miles Sanders is the number one back. Eckler, I mean, again, it's more of a toss-up with Parker because of what Hammer said. The Jets' defense is awful. They could be up like 14 or 21 points in the early part of the game, and it's just like milk the clock and it's over kind of game, Whereas Eckler, if they're activating Eckler, he's going to get a decent workload. If Carson is playing, he's going to get a decent workload. Miles Sanders is the number one back there. So I would say if you have your chance, you can hold. I personally wouldn't play Parker unless Carson's not going to play. And I don't think you mentioned Carson on the injury report, right, Hammer?
Who?
Chris Carson?
I didn't have that was the 1 o'clock games that I gave you guys. Give me 1 second.
Sure. All right.
What are they? The Monday night game, right?
Yes, they are Monday. Right, so just give me 1 second. What I'll do is I'll keep going there, and I'll come back to you, Dave, while he pulls that up. Eric, this is for real, brother. We're here for you, man. We're here.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
And then Antonio Brown or AJ Brown, that is tough because I'll tell you this: Antonio Brown has been way more solid than I thought he'd be. He's been getting a decent amount of he's been playing in 1 point PPR. He's been playing about 13 points per game. He's getting like 6 to 7 catches and not that many yardage, but the pure catches that he's getting makes him a safe play. But I'll go AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a boss. He's been balling out. He is a little bit of boomer bust, but when he booms, he booms. And Antonio ain't booming like he used to be. So I would go with AJ Brown here. And did you see what happened with Carson Hammer?
They don't have anything up yet.
Okay.
You guys are probably not going to hear anything on that in regards to their inactives until probably like 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow evening.
So Dave, I would honestly, if I was you, if you have a decent matchup and you just need to guarantee the points, I would say probably start Parker over Carson, just because that's a little bit of a toss-up and a risk. But if you can risk it for the biscuit, I keep Carson in and just let it rock. But that's what we got there. And no problem at all, boss. If you ever need anything, you know where to reach us. All right, Hammer, any more of those inactives, actives that caught your eye or anything that you're looking at this week that you're really, thought of that's going to be something that we should be watching?
Just in regards to some of the matchups, in regards to our stardom situm, in regards to who I'm liking today, and believe it or not, it's actually one of your guys, which I'm like, I don't know why I'm even owning up to this. Daniel Jones, I would start him today against the Bengals defense. Jones is a QB 15 right now. He could move up a little bit. Eckler, right now, he's ranked like 51 right now.
But that's because they didn't assume that he's going to play. If he's playing and he's getting over 50% of his snaps, he's going to be better than, I want to say, at least 20 of the running backs.
He should definitely see like plenty of work in a high scoring game today. So he's definitely somebody I would consider starting. And like I said before, Devontae Parker, definitely with the news that Fitzpatrick is starting today, Parker becomes the must play option against the Jets.
Yep. And I think this is a good question that we have from Francisco. It's Gallman or Eckler. And I think that's a tough one because Gallman's been playing really good and he's facing a really bad Cincinnati team. Whereas with Eckler, it's a little bit more of a toss-up on what he's going to be able to produce. I think overall, Eckler is the better play if we knew what was going to be going on with his workload. If Eckler's getting a full workload, I start him easily over Gallman. But if you have some question marks and you need the guaranteed points, I go with Gallman. Eckler, to me, is the bigger upside play. Gallman safer, Eckler's more upside. You know,
guys, I'm not liking well, let me go with another one real quick. Raiders, Nelson Aguilar. Not crazy about him, but
he's their number one receiver. You know who's really disappointed me? What's up with Waller, man? Waller's not balling like I don't know what's going on there, man. Your Raiders are disappointing me a little bit here with what they're doing with Waller.
They've been doing a lot more of the ground and pound, especially now Devontae Booker has stepped up significantly. Like him and Jacobs, that two-headed monster is scary right now. And I would put them side by side with right now, at least, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
they are just a solid duo in that backfield. So I'm liking it, but like it's with Aguilar today, this is too good of a matchup for him to be ranked outside the 40. And he could be like within the top 30 by the end of today if everything goes well. Guys, I'm not liking right now, like I said earlier, Matt Ryan with Julio Jones unlikely to play with his hamstring injury. Ryan becomes extremely volatile. Like, while there's several key receiving options still on the field, he's not the same when Julio's on the sideline. So
true, but he does. I believe he gets whatchamacallit back this week. He gets Ridley. Ridley's going to be playing this week, right?
I believe, yeah, he is active. But I'll tell you one thing. The issue that we had, at least the Raiders had last week against the Chiefs, is pretty much like their entire defense pretty much couldn't practice throughout the week. Guess what? We got a full week of practicing right now. And we got two new additions in Takk McKinley and Vic Beasley. There could be a lot of pressure put on them, especially if Gunther runs the defense the right way now and makes the correct adjustments. They can apply a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan today, and it's going to be a long day for him.
I will say this, since we were talking about what was it? Backfield duos that are really taking off. As you mentioned, Booker's really stepped up. Another one that I'm looking at and that has a really great matchup this week is in Arizona. between Drake and Edmonds, they've been using both of them a lot. And if you saw in the last game that Edmonds played, he caught the touchdown and Drake ran the touchdown. So both of them are getting work inside the end in the red zone. We're seeing Edmonds is getting a decent amount of catching volume. So I think both of them are pushing themselves up into that same category. I would put them ahead of the Raider group, but underneath the Cleveland group, if I was ranking the big backfields. But that's something definitely we want to watch out for. We got another question here from Matt McCoy. Pick one to start in the flex. You have Eckler, Mike Davis, DJ Moore, Gus Edwards. See, to me, Gus Edwards is going to be the number one because you have J.K. Dobbins is out. You have Mark Ingram is out. But the problem with Gus Edwards is we don't know if they're going to cancel that game. There's been so many positive tests in Baltimore and Pittsburgh that game is totally in question. And it's risky, man. I wouldn't
take that risk because of everything that's going on with those two teams this past week. I would not take that risk. I'm telling you right now, do not waste a spot, especially however deep you are into your league or like where you're placed right now. If you're in desperate need of a win, do not go with Gus Edwards. And I've had people asking about him and talking about him all week long. I would most likely, who's the matchup for Mike Davis today? Who do they have?
Carolina is facing the Vikings, so that's a pretty decent matchup.
Ooh.
Now let me just see one thing.
And the Chargers have the Bills.
Now the Chargers play at 1 as well.
Man.
See, now the problem for you here is that you have a lot of guys that are going at 1. I don't see anyone that you have that outside of 1 you'd be able to play. So in case you lose Edwards, you don't have anything. So I would say probably the safest play that you have is Mike Davis, because he's the most guaranteed volume. Eckler, if he's healthy, he's the guy that I like. DJ Moore also, he's been really solid. He's been up and down. That's the thing about Moore. He's been up and down. I'm not sure if you're in PPR or not. If it's PPR, I probably go DJ Moore. If it's standard, I'm probably going Eckler if he's healthy, or Mike Davis. And Gus Edwards is there only if you have enough. If you have someone that you can plug in just in case they don't play that game, if like you maybe have a Ram or a 49er, I would go that, because to me, Gus Edwards has the highest upside if that game is played because he gets the full workload, and we know there's no one behind him. It's only Justin Hill, who's a rookie that never can see the field.
David, you're asking about Gallman or Hines. I'm going with Gallman.
Honestly, that's crazy because Gallman has a really good matchup, and so does Hines. Hines has been playing really good, and you have to understand that with Taylor out, now it's really going to be just what's his face? Wilkins and Hines is the only running backs back there. And I do trust the Colts offense a little bit more with check down Rivers. Rivers loves to throw those little, here's a little 5-yard, here's a little 5-yard. And him and Hines have some good rapport. So personally, I think I would go Hines, but that's really just a real toss-up. That's a real toss-up because the Bengals are a team that you fear. But I do think Hines has a chance for a really good workload. And the Colts are playing. I just want to see who I got the Colts playing this week.
The Colts are playing the Titans.
That's a matchup where you can expect Hines to really be involved, because I expect it to be a back and forth game where they're going to need a score. And I do see them relying on Hines a lot. I mean, personally, I'm super, super high on Hines. I picked him up in a few leagues. I've been starting him. He's someone that I definitely trust going forward. But that's definitely a toss-up. I go Hines, Hammer goes Gallman. Either way, I think you're still pretty good. I think both will score and both will be pretty fine for you. So I don't think you have two horrible matchups or two things to go. Just watched the Lynn press conference from last night. He was asked if there was a good chance Eckler will see the field. See, I don't know if that's coach speak or not, because Eckler all week, I saw him on Twitch, was announcing it, and just some other places. He's been talking like he really expects to play. I know he's been working out for a while. I saw him sprinting like 3 weeks ago. So I just have this gut feeling that he's going to play. It seems like he's going to play and he's going to get some decent time. And this just might be coach speak. But again, shit gets crazy out here.
Like I said before, in regards to Eckler, like he should definitely see plenty of work in a high scoring game today. So
if he plays, I mean, that's the one thing. If he plays. Because, like you said, Lynn was non-committal.
He's being cryptic about it. He's being cryptic, like many, many coaches in the NFL are. So there's a good chance that he's playing, and if he does play, he's definitely going to be carrying that load today. So,
In standard, David, in standard, I definitely lean a little bit more toward Gallman because Hines' big upside to me is that he gets so many pass catches that I actually might go Gallman now if you're telling me that it's a standard league instead of a PPR league. So I definitely would change it up a little bit. I would say the Gallman is probably a little bit safer in a standard league. Matt, no problem at all. Anytime that you need it, feel free to come by. We got you guys taken care of. Jonathan, you got Crowder, Myers, Corey Davis, pick 2. Man, Corey Davis, has he not been solid except for the one game the week ago? Like last week he was good, but the week before that he threw up a dud. The 2 weeks before that, since he came off injury list, he's been really good. In this matchup versus the Colts, where they have to have this game, I do think that Corey Davis could be really solid. Crowder in a game versus the Dolphins, where we were expecting it to be the Dolphins running down their throat and scoring points, I definitely see Crowder can get some off. But who's starting quarterback this week for the Jets? Is it still Flacco? Flacco has not been going to Crowder like that. He's been hitting Perriman and Mims more.
He hasn't been going to Crowder like that, but also take into consideration how solid Miami's defense has looked these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, last week they didn't look as good, but I agree there. But Myers is with who are the Patriots playing?
Damn, I just had that shit up. Hold on.
Patriots.
Excuse me. Cardinals. And the must see matchup of that game is going to be Hopkins against Gilmore. So we know where that's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, how much is Cam going to throw in that game? I do like that to be more of a running ground and pound control the ball game, and Crowder more than likely is going to be playing a catch-up game where it leads to more game flow for him. So I probably go Crowder, Corey Davis if you're asking me. Hammer, is it that time?
Don't bust that nut. We'll be right back. No, I got to, guys. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I unfortunately have to go and do another 12-hour work shift. So I'm going to have Taco's going to finish this off. But one quick shout out to sohoodie.com, SOHOODIE.com. They're on Instagram. They have a website as well. They're on TikTok. Rocking the Raider hood right now. They got to deal with the NFL. So now they're doing the NFL ones. So being nice, something to wear with your NFL gear, like I am. My Henry Ruggs, the third jersey right now. The inaugural, I'm trying to get over the inaugural Vegas season. So yeah, check them out. It's been real. Thank you guys for coming in. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and also check out my guys at Spotlight Sports Network. All the same platforms: Spotlight Sports Network, Spotlight Football Talk, Spotlight Raider Talk. And they'll be doing a couple of live play-by-plays today, so check them out. And what else? What else is there for me to say? Oh, yeah. Don't forget to wash your hands and your asses. Taco's going to finish you guys off. Everybody have a great...
Hey, I don't finish you guys off.
Pause. But everybody have a great and safe Sunday and enjoy the games. I'm out.
All right, guys. All right, we're gonna wrap this up and keep it moving. I see Snell or Higgins at the flex. Flocks. I think that's an interesting dilemma and situation. Benny Snell may be the guy that's going to be getting the bulk of the carries with James Conner being out this week with COVID. And it's a short turnaround, so I think Snell is someone good to hold on to your roster, see how it uses and plays out. But to me, Higgins is just a little bit safer because with all the positive tests that are going on in Baltimore right now, there's a very good chance that we're not going to see that game played. It's already been pushed to Tuesday. So with that being said, it's pretty much on its left. They've done everything they can to try to make sure that game is played, but it's very dicey right now. It's already been moved to Tuesday. So you're looking at a situation where if for any chance we get some more, because today we saw Mark Andrews tested positive for COVID and a couple of other guys. We already saw Lamar Jackson tested positive for COVID. So it's a situation where it's really, really dicey. That game could very well be called. So if you need to win and need guaranteed points, I go with Higgins. If you could risk it for the biscuit, Snell is a good play to hold on to and try to play in just because he has that upside. I have a similar situation with Claypool. Do I start Claypool or do I start Kendall Hilton, who's the wide receiver from the Broncos, who's going to be playing quarterback? So it's going to be a very, very interesting situation. Yeah, if you're 9-2, you're probably then more than likely going to have the bye, and you're sitting there and you're looking to get the most points. So I probably hold on to Snell. I play Snell just because his upside is way better than Higgins to me. And now wait, is that T Higgins or Rashard Higgins? That's actually the next question to ask you. Which Higgins? Because there's more than one Higgins now. So if you get a chance, drop that down and we'll answer that question. Quickly, what I want to do is I'll give you a quick little hell no. All right, buddy. So one quick thing that I do want to go into for this week. Oh, your league is very tight. Damn. So yeah, if it's tight, then you probably do need the point T Higgins. Let me just look up one thing about T Higgins. What's your scoring been like, T? Okay, you've been last week versus Washington. He tossed up a dud, but the 4 games before that, he was really solid. But the thing is, the Giants' pass defense has been really good. Honestly, Higgins. And you need to win, man. I mean, Higgins is the safe play. If you need safe points, Higgins is the way to go. If you want to go for the big boom, you go Snell, because even when Connor was there, Snell is getting the goal line. So Snell is goal line. But yeah, but Burrows is out too. No, I then go. Like I said, I'm probably going Snell, but if you need a play this week, he more than likely is going to be playing as like a number 1, number 2 receiver for that team against a good passing defense. It's a scary matchup. You might be able to find something better on the wire, actually, that plays a little bit earlier. Like to me, Kendall Hilton, if you're able to grab him in any leagues, he's a guy that's playing quarterback that's going to be in a wide receiver slot, which really does give you the option of getting a lot more points and a lot more usage. I would take him over both in this situation. 1, because we know that he's going to more than likely play, and 2, he's going to get you the upside of a quarterback in a wide receiver position. But that's just the way kind of I'd be looking at it. You're in a tough situation though, just because that Tuesday game is really if everyone's playing on Sunday, I would definitely tell you start Snell, because I know he's going to play right now, but there's a good chance that game doesn't get played, and that's what we have to risk it for. And again, I'm dealing with the same thing. With Chase Claypool, I just don't know if I can start him or not. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and just kind of show you what's going on with. I don't want that one. No. There we go. Show you what's going on with FanDuel. So this week they have a couple of not live. Sorry, again, the contest hasn't started yet. They have a couple of decent plays this week on the FanDuel flex docket. So this is the lineup that I'm pushing out this week. Obviously, you see I'm putting my money into Eckler. I do think he's going to play. I do think he's going to have a decent shot at getting some points and being really solid. Naheem Hines, again, I think he's going to be really good versus Tennessee, and he's someone that they're going to lean on. Darren Waller, the baller. I mean, this week with what's going on in tight end, if you're not starting Kelsey, he's the only other option. Jefferson, he's been blowing up, and he's going to be facing a Carolina defense I don't think anyone is going to fear, but there's a good shot that you'll be able to see them going back and forth, giving Jefferson enough of a shot to go off. A.J. Brown, again, I just think A.J. Brown is the number 1 wide receiver that we see on the board for the Tennessee Titans in that matchup. I expect him to be fed the ball because they need this win in Tennessee. New Orleans is someone that's really interesting to me with Taysom Hill and Michael Thomas. If we saw what happened last week, Michael Thomas got 50% of the workload from Taysom Hill. So that's something definitely that you have to love if you're a Michael Thomas owner, just because he's getting so much usage. On top of that, we got Kenyon Drake, who's coming in, and he scored a touchdown last week. He's been looking really solid as far as running back options. He's not the best running back, obviously, but the New England Patriots haven't been that great at stopping the run, which just gives me a shot to get solid base points at someone that really doesn't cost that much. And like I said, Eckler to me is just a really great play, just because if he gets half of his workload with his type of skills, he could really go off. Now, I do want to say to everyone that was facing Antonio Gibson this weekend, I'm sorry. Antonio Gibson really ruined some Thanksgivings, including mine. But it's going to be an interesting week to see how everything plays out. There's still a lot more we have to look at for inactives and actives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go monitor the the wires and see what's going on, see if we have any more injury updates or any new plays. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back on about a half hour before kickoff. So around 12:30, I'm going to pop back on and I'm going to see if there's been any changes to the lineups, give you any last minute breaking news. So this way you guys can be set and good to go, because let's face it, this is week 12. Playoffs start in 2 weeks. So we definitely need to get our wins in, get our buys, get our points up. And get a full team ready, because this is the year more than ever that depth is going to be tested in the playoffs, because you never know when a player is going to go out. Like yesterday, Connor just left, so it's not even like you could have planned too far ahead. I know a lot of people were trying to grab other players, but if you didn't have an opportunity to put a guy like Connor in your out, in the IR position, you're kind of screwed, because you're watching other players make moves and you don't have a spot. So that's something definitely that I believe that you need to be as deep as possible in case something happens, so this way you don't get subjugated to the vultures that's still your guys. So definitely, like I said, I'm gonna pop back on in probably about another hour and 20 minutes, just to kind of recap everything, see if there's been any new breaking updates, see if we get any updates on what's going on with the Ravens, because there's a lot going on this week, guys. But I want to thank you all for stopping by and spending your time with us. Like Hammer said, give us a like, follow, and a share. We're on Twitter at the Daily Sporting for you, or I'm sorry, Daily Sporting for you. What we do over there, we cover all the sports. So if you follow basketball, baseball, football, we're just a good follow, because boxing, fighting, we were just talking a little bit about the Mike Tyson fight last night, and RIP Nate Robinson. What a knockout. What a knockout. On Instagram and Facebook, we are at the Daily Sporting, so it's nice and easy. But guys, I want to thank you all for stopping by. We appreciate it. If you need any help, feel free to send us a DM, make a comment on the video. I'll be personally responding back to you guys with what I got going on. And Mr. Chang, I just want to give you a hello to you as well, brother. I wish everyone the best of luck this week. It's going to be a crazy week. But again, this is the Daily Sporting, and we're saying we're here for you, babies.